problem. But you heal other people by healing yourself and sharing the struggles that you've gone through.
Absolutely. And I think you may have heard this story before, but we've gone through so much in our business or during the course of me having this business. I mean, my husband's car was repoed. We got it back. It took some time, but we got it back. Our water was shut off one day and it snowed coincidentally that day. It doesn't snow a lot here in Southwest Ohio, but my husband, he told my older boys, he says, you two can go pee outside. But while you're out there, bring in some snow so mom can use the toilet.
Yeah.
Listeners, the water was back on that same day, but there are those struggles that we'll face. And it's going to be the SHIT moments, but you get through them. I mean, sometimes I joke that if I were in the manure business, I would be totally rich because I have dealt with my fair share of,
Right. And it was those life experiences that got you to where you are at now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Without those life experiences, there would be a lot less stories. I don't even know what I would talk about. Yeah.
Right.
And I am a mom of 5 and I burn every dinner I make. Every dinner.
Oh, good. You sound like me because I don't remember I think a comedian had said it first and one of my kids had heard it and said, the smoke alarm is not the timer for the oven. And it was like, well, I get that, but it doesn't matter.
I love that.
Yeah. The smoke alarm, when the smoke alarm would go off, it's like, dang it. We knew dinner was done because my meal was burning. Oh my goodness.
I want to thank you for saying that because you just reminded me that the batteries weren't plugged back in from the last time.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Is that another synchronistic moment? I would say
yes. Yes. Oh, I hope not, but yes.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So, Kim, the 5 children that you have then, do you have the 3 children from your previous marriage and then the twins from your marriage now?
I have twins who are 4.5 and a 6-year-old from my husband now. And then the older 2 boys who are both teenagers are from my ex-husband.
Okay. All right. Good. Yeah. And how do you balance that? Because I know you have that work schedule and prayerfully it's not the 18 to 20 hours a night anymore. But how do you find a way to balance that? The work that because I know that you have contracts and things, timelines, deadlines that you have to take care of. You also have the family and kids going here and there in every which direction, not driving your turquoise van, and leisure, some kind of playtime. How do you what is the way that you balance that? And how can you, is there a way that you can share that with the listeners? I had a heck of a time getting that out.
That's okay. Positive productivity does not mean perfection. I stumble over every sentence, but I got to be honest. This is one of those seasons for me that is not happening. It's very heavy in business focus because not only do I have positive productivity, but I'm about to launch a new brand with a couple of friends, and I'm also about to go to my first speaking gig. Listeners, you can't have everything done on time all the time, and I need to add a preface for that. Like I work my hardest to get stuff done for clients all the time, but when I stopped letting go of the deadlines for myself, that's when life became a lot easier. Often we put unrealistic deadlines on ourselves and we create greater friction. But I am speaking in 5 days and I have exactly 0 slides prepared. But I'm okay with that because I know it's going to be done. And I need to just not stress about it because the stress will become the cork in my bottle. And I don't need that. I want the cork untapped and I want to be drinking whatever's inside.
Right. Absolutely. And when that happens too, you can't even think clearly. You can't even make the slides because that nervous system kicks in. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time. There's only, so many hours left. And how am I going to do this? And it's not even in the creative focus anymore.
Absolutely.
So congratulations on this speaking gig. Where's it going to be and what are you speaking on?
So I'm going to SKYPE Podcast Live in Atlanta and I'm giving a presentation on Pinterest for podcasters. The funny thing is I'm the mom who burns every meal that I cook. I can't stand clothes shopping, and I am delinquent in the crafts category. Like, just meaning that I don't do enough there. And a lot of
Yeah.
people think that Pinterest is for women looking for clothes crafts and recipes. That's wrong. So I'm using it, and I have close to 1 million monthly viewers on Pinterest. So I'm going
Wow.
there to share the secrets. But what I want to say is that I go through periods of mama guilt and business guilt. And
Mm,
that feels horrible to say, but I'm just going to admit that when I'm spending time on my business, I feel bad that I'm not spending more time with my family. When I'm spending time with my family, there's always something I want to be doing in my business. So there really isn't a balance. We just need to have our goals in mind and know that, well, like the personal assistant story that you shared in that was the last episode, right?
yes.
Um,
So
that, let go of the things that you don't need to be doing yourself. I mean, the moment I let go of chores around the house, that was awesome. Unfortunately, it gets a little bit messy sometimes, but just stay focused on the end goal.
yeah. Yeah. So who does the chores in your house now? Is that has that been that baton passed over to the children?
Yeah, they want allowance, so they get
Yeah,
chores.
I
The
love it.
littles still are resistant, but the laundry and the dishes get done by the teenagers, and that is amazing, especially for a family our size.
Absolutely. Yeah, because 7, that's a lot of people. That's a lot
Yeah.
of people. Yes.
Yep.
So are you doing something, or are you as far as the mama guilt and the business guilt, is there something that you're doing to help with that, or are you just allowing it to know that in this moment I'm feeling guilty because I have to work on this business, but I know this business piece, but I know that, in an hour, 2 hours, or whatever that time frame is, that I'll be able to be back with my babies, and I know that you have teenagers, but they're always babies for us. But you'll be back with them and spending quality time with them, or vice versa. I'll walk away from my children and come back and get some of this business done. Are you finding a way to balance that out, or is that still in the process of trying to find the best way to make that work for you?
Well, I am I'm confident in where I am right now, and I discuss with the teenagers and with my husband, here's what has to be done right now. And when this is done, it's done. And the next level is coming. But we can't reach that next level until well, my husband's a video game designer. So for any video game players out there, I feel like I'm level 0 entrepreneur. Okay, I'm not level 0, but just to give you the analogy, and I'm working my way up, right? I'm
Yeah.
trying, and there's those certain achievements that we need to reach for each level. And with the newfound confidence and self-value, those were the two major ones. So now I just need to put the check marks next to the tasks that were attributed to the former level Kim, and then I can move on. And when that happens, it's going to be magical.
Yes, absolutely. I love that former level Kim, because that is what this is all about, right? Our awareness, our growth, our transformation into the best version of ourselves. And every it's not going to stop. There's always another level. We're never not ever going to reach that stopping point. We're always going to be growing into our next best version and our next biggest potential of who and what we really are.
Absolutely. Can I give one tip for any listeners who are working on that next level? It's
Yeah,
really fast. And
yeah.
put a picture. If the next level includes a material object, put that picture as the backdrop on either your computer, like on your desktop, or I have my dream house picture as the backdrop of my Gmail, and I see it all the time. And it's just a constant reminder. And then also, if it's a financial goal, make that your password. And you're constantly reinforcing it in your mind. This is what I'm doing.
Oh. I do the picture thing. I have vision boards everywhere. I always tell people, if you walk into my house, just know you're walking into affirmation notes and beautiful quote notes on sticky notes and on pieces of paper that are taped on the wall everywhere. But the financial goal as your password, that's phenomenal. I have
Yeah,
never heard of that. I love it.
yeah, and the likelihood of anybody hacking that who knows you is slim to none.
Right. That's awesome. That's awesome. Those are fantastic tips. I love it. Oh, Kim, you and I could sit and talk for so long. And sadly, we have already come up onto our 30 minutes here. As well as that tip that you just gave, is there anything else that you would like to offer the listeners? Anything about Pinterest or anything about upcoming events or something that you're doing?
I would love to share with listeners my Work Smarter, Not Harder 30-day challenge, which, seeing as it's a 30-day challenge, might sound like against what I'm doing, but it's a free challenge where each day I share a 2 to 8 minute video walking you through something that you can set up in your personal or professional life to help you take both to the next level. And you can find that at thekimsutton.com.
Awesome. I love that. Work Smarter, Not Harder 30-day challenge.
Yep.
Awesome. And again, listeners, if you're driving or you're not able to write that down, don't worry. It will all be in the show notes and how to contact Kim. So, Kim, I am so grateful. I know you're a busy woman, and I wish I was going to the She podcast to hear you speak, and because I know that you are wise beyond your years. And I just want to thank you for your time and your tips and sharing and being open and vulnerable and authentic. I just adore you. Thank you so much.
I adore you too, Nita.
Thank you. All right. And have a safe trip to Atlanta. I'm excited to hear how it all turns out. And in the meantime, for all of the listeners, thank you so much for joining us here again today. It's been my pleasure to be on the air with you and with Kim. And I am wishing you a most beautiful week, and look for all of the blessings that show up every day in your life. See you next week. Bye for now.
Thank you for spending time with us today. Please go to nadahogan.com for show notes and other information you can use right away. If you like what you heard here, please subscribe to our show, and don't forget to rate and review right there on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, or wherever you get your shows. And don't forget to tell your friends about it. We'll see you next week.